It's no secret that I'm a fan of what Xiaomi has done with their Ultra smartphones. The last couple of iterations have gone with me to multiple important events and often ended up being the epitome of the best camera you have is the one on you. I mean, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra was the phone I took to an incredible wedding, where the photography kit and grip helped me take full advantage of the telephoto capabilities to get shots like this and this. All of the photos were put in a Google Photos album and sent to the bride and groom, and not only were they happy to get pictures to enjoy before the hired photographer sent in their work, the Leica supported processing and the hardware led to results that no one truly believed came from a smartphone. It was with that and the following Xiaomi 15 Ultra that it became very clear to me. While processing continues to improve and evolve, the glass does matter. Thankfully, Xiaomi never let up, and with the latest version of their Ultra flagship smartphone, the good times continue to roll. So let's talk about my first week-ish, I'll talk about that later, with Xiaomi's latest powerful camera phone. And yes, it's deliberate that the term camera is coming before phone here. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? Here is my Xiaomi 17 Ultra, week 1. Quick confession, Xiaomi actually sent me the 17 Ultra a little while ago, but I still call this a week 1 because it's less of a full-on review or a what worked and what didn't video. Also, the phone came on its own first, with some important accessories that you're probably already thinking of arriving sometime later. And if you ask me, it's when those photography-forward kits arrived that I truly felt like this week 1 could actually begin. All that said, the time leading up to the photography kits arriving gave me a chance to actually use the Xiaomi 17 Ultra as a straight-up smartphone that happens to have a really good camera, and not quite the other way around. I know I can get a little bit caught up in the cameras of it all when it comes to these smartphones, so let's spend a little bit of time talking about the phone at large before snapping on this grip. Xiaomi's hero color for the 17 Ultra happens to be the one that I received. This starlit green colorway is the eye-catching backing design that I had to make sure to enjoy before a case would eventually cover it up for the foreseeable future. Xiaomi touts that the starlit green edition utilizes mineral particles to give it a sense of luxury in both look and feel. Honestly, I'm just happy that it's in my favorite color. Xiaomi put some effort in to make sure that despite the huge camera package that is par for the course on an Ultra, the general design remains as light and as thin as possible. The frame uses aluminum alloy and has the slightest curves around the sides and corners to wrap around what is a flat display. All while sporting all of these camera sensors, a 6,000 mAh battery that can take up to 90-watt charging, and even a vapor chamber is stuffed in here to keep the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 running cool. That last part is something I've actually been paying more attention to lately, as Android porting and emulation has become quite the pastime for me. While I haven't gotten any Steam games ported over to this particular device just yet, I do see that in the Google Play Store there continues to be great ports in the form of like Red Dead Redemption and the newly released full first modern Tomb Raider game. Eventually I'll get Metal Gear Solid 5 installed on here, and I'm sure that the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 will be able to handle it easily. That said, Ultra does actually mean that you have to make some compromises here. This huge camera bump does make it hard to use this with any of the clamp controllers as originally intended. With a little bit of extra help from a grip of some sort, holding this rather wide and certainly top-heavy phone for social media scrolling, YouTube viewing, and engaging in my workflow for posting short-form video, all of that has been just fine. The only thing I really have to contend with involves the operating system, which is Xiaomi's take on Android in HyperOS. It works fine enough, but I always find the background process handling quite aggressive. On plenty of apps that I would need to work in the background, I usually have to get into the settings here and toggle any of these settings for background management, make sure that they are switched off. On top of that, it doesn't hurt to actually lock these apps in the recent apps screen to make sure that they're always working. I understand that all of this is in the pursuit of better RAM management, even though there's plenty of RAM on here, and battery usage optimization, but the habit of HyperOS to give you the same warning over and over again in order to activate certain apps, it does get tiresome when I have to do it rather constantly. This mostly affects me when I have to reestablish my preferred Android customizations, which leads to another gripe I have with Xiaomi's OS. Why can't we just be allowed to use full screen gestures on third-party launchers? This has been a thing for years, to be fair, and as someone that prefers to use Niagara Launcher with Wallpaper Engine, as you can see here, to show off my current interests and obsessions, the workarounds feel more like chores than they should be. Now, for those of you who want to know, I use an app called Edge Gestures that lets me program just the swipe up from the bottom to open Niagara Launcher like an app, which maybe 90% of the time gets me to where I want to go. Edge gestures does require the use of the accessibility layer, a tie that HyperOS just sometimes decides to sever. So I have to go back into Edge gestures, turn it off, wait for HyperOS's 10-second warning regarding accessibility access, and then finally it can turn on and work again. MIUI, before the name change to HyperOS, used to be a champion of Android customization. Now, it just feels like HyperOS has a bit of, let's call it petty jealousy whenever I want to use something different. Well, the tea is ready. Today's tea is the Magnolia Green Tea, and it's by one of my favorite kind of semi-local companies here in California, and it's called Chafolio. The Magnolia Green Tea has a really nice floral scent and taste. There's so many different ways of making tea, and that might be one of the most over-engineered ways of actually making it, which kind of leads me to what I wanted to talk to in today's tea break, and that is to remember to use the tools that you already have on you. That's the whole phrasing of the best camera is the one you have on you, and for a lot of my last few weeks, it has been the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. And yeah, the Ultra is definitely like a premium smartphone capable of a lot of crazy things. But even if you have like any other phone, you can use that to do things like get content creation done and get your work done. And if it works just well enough, well, maybe it's the thing that you should be using. See, I'm trying to sort of like break my perfectionism. I'm sure we all have it in some fashion. But one of the things that I want to do is just embrace using the various tools that I have. I might work on some wearable devices, and the camera that I'll use the most for all of that B-roll will be the smartphone that's in my pocket, and that will get the point across anyway. I know this tea break and what I'm talking about mostly applies to like fellow content creators, but I think it applies to a lot of stuff because we all have a certain form of perfectionism and we're waiting for that perfect thing in order to do anything at all. Well, let me tell you, good enough, good enough is better than not having anything to show at all. And good enough also helps so that you don't have to stress over the perfectionism of it all. So yeah, just a little glimpse into why I really enjoy Ultra phones like these. But in general, I just wanted to give everybody the reminder that perfectionism doesn't always have to be the hindrance to your action. With all of that said, I'll go ahead and end this tea break with the usual question that I ask every time. What's going on, everybody? I hope you come for the tech, but you stay for the tea. And with all of that said, let's go ahead and get back to this week 1 video on the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. Okay, but now it's time to put this camera to good use. And I had yet another wedding-related scenario in store for this year's Ultra. This time it was a bachelor/bachelorette party out in New Orleans just before Mardi Gras season. And no, I won't be showing anything here that could get this video demonetized. Without the photography kit, it was all about using this phone straight up, letting the glass do all the talking. And on an Ultra, you get some powerful essentials. Leica continues to support the camera system here with their Sumilux optical lens system, with a trio of rear cameras that cover the ranges from 14 to 100mm, which I would argue is plenty for everyday and even most special occasions. That is achieved with a 50-megapixel 1-inch main sensor, a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 200-megapixel telephoto up here that actually takes up most of the space in the optical package, and it covers the farther ranges all on its own. Full optical quality is achieved in the telephoto in the ranges of 75 to 100mm, which is the middle range on the zoom selector. Beyond that, the nature of pixel binning will get you up to 8.6x or 17.2x, and that last one gets you 400mm effective range without losing much quality at all. And when it comes to photography, this all covers a wide range of practical scenes, and in all honesty, I don't really even go beyond the 8.6x ever. Pushing the zoom limits introduces more and more cropping and processing, which is expected, as is the increasing watercolor look that you get the farther you go. Speaking of processing, the colors you're seeing in this slew of photos right now is using the Leica Vibrant mode. You get a couple of them up here, a couple of profiles that you can use just straight up in the camera app. The Leica Vibrant mode adds in a tasteful but noticeable amount of saturation and vibrance. The look does look consistent through the zoom ranges, which is good, and at that point it's about framing and composition because the camera makes taking good pictures a pretty easy affair. You can go into the Pro mode and dial in some settings. You can try out some of the other modes like long exposure, and you can opt for using the fun fast shot mode to prioritize the focal length equivalence and just snap away like a street photographer. Plenty of filters and color profiles are there for some extra creativity, and personally, I'd like to use the Leica monochrome filters a bit more moving forward, especially in the portrait mode for an even softer background. But when it comes down to just day-to-day shooting, I find that just a little bit of extra thought and effort goes a long way. Things like turning down the exposure compensation to -0.5 or 0.3 or 0.7, something like that. A shallower depth of field available in the telephoto means that you can really get some nice foreground and background play, including in video. And the ultrawide is still good for vlog-style talking head portions. The best results do still tend to be on the main sensor, which is pretty expected, but good zooms continue to support all of this, which is really appreciated. One thing I do have to mention is that the telephoto lens here, despite the good results, does require a little bit of extra effort to use effectively. The shutter to picture speed from the main sensor remains nice and quick, but perhaps due to a smaller aperture in both the telephoto and the ultrawide, I found myself having to hold for a slight but noticeably longer exposure time when lighting conditions became even a little less than ideal. I still managed to get plenty of great looking photos in plenty of scenarios, don't get me wrong, but I couldn't help but notice that the extra bit of time and required stillness from both me and my subjects had to happen more often than not. Perhaps most of the time when you're in an indoor situation, you can just use the main sensor the most, since far zooms wouldn't be often required, and you'll just have to lock in when trying to get those farther shots at night. Okay, cue the arrival of the Photography Kit and the Photography Kit Pro. The Pro Kit should be rather familiar. It is comprised of a case, let me just throw it on right now, that actually has magnets inside for MagSafe compatible accessories, and then the grip right here that slots right into the side for a much more classic camera feel. Honestly, these kits have become a key part of the ultra part of the name and experience for me. A screw-on button for the shutter is a really nice touch here, and the knobs just make it easier to dial in the exposure compensation while the zoom lever gets me through the different zoom ranges. Honestly, this is when the term camera certainly slides back in front of the term phone. It helps that the grip adds a bit more battery, since the days that I'm shooting primarily with the Xiaomi 17 Ultra are basically a wash when it comes to general battery life testing. Normal days get me plenty of battery life, especially when taking advantage of power-saving modes, but then hours of pictures and 4K video recording obviously drain things in a hurry. I have to give a shout out to a newcomer in the accessory side though. This Photography Kit, not Pro, is basically just a case, but it literally adds a couple of physical buttons for the shooting experience. Those buttons are a bit small and the grip isn't substantial, so two-handed shooting is usually still required, but it's all a really nice added touch. The case connects to the phone via Bluetooth and automatically pairs when putting it on, but that does mean that the case has its own small battery within that has to be charged with a small proprietary cable, and I inevitably forgot to bring it on pretty much every trip that I've been on lately. That is something to consider if that case is something that you want to use. The other thing to consider on the case is that it does not come with the MagSafe magnets that the Pro Kit has, and it does not allow for putting on various filters via this thread. But back to the camera, and on the video side of things, Xiaomi bolstered the 17 Ultra in terms of shooting modes, and stabilization remains good, including via the OIS in the telephoto, where I believe that might be needed the most. But really, I live in the main modes with the EV slider set a tad to the negative side, so as to mitigate any overexposure that the sensors might do straight out of the camera. I did play around with the Pro mode and the log recording for a bit, and you can see the results here as I just add on a Panasonic LUT. After all, Panasonic is affiliated with Leica in some ways, and the LUT I find actually works well for it. And this just remains a fun way of getting particularly stylized results in post-production if you want to take a higher production quality philosophy into the camera phone. Overall, I continue to be very impressed with the quality coming from a Xiaomi camera experience, from the actual physical experience of using the 17 Ultra to the results that come after. Once again, the Xiaomi Ultra phone helps me capture and provide memories for my friends, so of course, I shared the Google Photos album with the group of everything that I took while in New Orleans. It will likely be the camera I have on me pretty constantly, which I'm sure will help me with other content both here and on my social media. The rest of the phone remains as powerful and reliable as it should be, so when it's time to just sit back and watch or sometimes work, I can certainly do all of that without too much fuss. That is, unless HyperOS decides to, let's say, nag me a little bit. All of this to say that the combination of Xiaomi's partnerships results in a strong premium choice when you need a camera phone, and it succeeds at doing both. From there though, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for pouring one out with me again today as we talked about the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your tea, everybody.